Well, hello, and welcome to the 2016 Miss Pittsburgh TV Showcase. You know, it's been a couple of years since we've been here, but that's because a couple of years ago, we altered the manner in which we produce and handle the Miss Pittsburgh journey. You know, we took our winners from a one-year reign to a two-year reign to give the young lady an opportunity to find out really how to command her role as Miss Pittsburgh. What we've discovered over the years is that once that 12-month mark came, she really wasn't ready to give up her crown. But because it was a one-year journey, she didn't have a choice. So we changed that to allow her a second time around so that she could really delve into the meat of what it's like to be a role model and really use that to benefit her in ways of growth that she probably could never even understand prior to that. So it's been a couple of years. We've missed you, but we're back, and we're back bigger and better and stronger than ever. Why? Because we've just crowned our second two-year winner, Miss Natalie DeMarino. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Michelle.
Again. So good. So good. And I'm so excited to have you as our new Miss Pittsburgh. And naturally, this is her introduction to you because she will now host the Miss Pittsburgh TV Showcase. But before we get into Natalie and us telling you all about Natalie, let's take a little journey into the past. You know, when we started Miss Pittsburgh, it was back in 1998. Yeah, I know, that's a long time. And I'm not getting older, I'm getting better. You're getting older. Okay, so in 1998, we held our first Miss Pittsburgh pageant at the Convention Center. I even forget what it was called back then. It's been a very long time. And throughout the years, we've had a queen every year up through 2014, when we crowned our first queen for that two-year reign. But pageantry over the years has taken on a different role, and so we found it necessary to adjust what we did to keep up with what needed to happen. So a young lady who is involved in the pageant world is just not involved from the aspect of she's gorgeous, she speaks well, she's built well, etc. All of those outward things are fine, but we build women from the inside out, and that's what pageantry is really all about. It is really about a celebration of women and their accomplishments and how they can take their deepest, innermost thoughts and feelings and develop them and grow them to magnanimous portions that take them to heights of becoming First Lady or becoming President, just to name a couple of things. So here we are today. We've traveled a lot of distance. We've used a lot of different kinds of things to help a young woman sharpen existing skills and gain lifelong skills, things that she can use into her future for a long, long time. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about as we talk to our newest winner, Natalie DeMarino, Miss Pittsburgh 2016. So Natalie, let's start with who you are. Tell us about Natalie. Where'd you grow up?
Well, I actually grew up in Washington, PA. I have a small family. It's my dad and my mom and my twin sister, Heather. I lived in Washington, PA till I was about, maybe I want to say 13 years old. And then I actually moved into Canonsburg, where I currently reside with my family.
Okay, so you grew up in Washington, PA, and you went to, it's a Cannon McMillan
Yes.
High School there, and now you're attending?
I'm currently going to be a senior at the Indiana University of Pennsylvania, believe it or not.
Okay, so when you were growing up in Washington, PA, what did you think about as a child? What did you think about that you might want to do when you grew up?
When I was little, I went through many different ideas of what I wanted to do when I grew up. I wanted to be a dentist at one point. I was...
Well, you have great teeth, so...
Well, thank you. I was thinking about being a dentist. I was thinking about being a nurse at one point. I was thinking about joining the military. I threw up many different options. My parents were very open and said, hey, you know, let's look into different things. What do you want to be when you grow up? It was never, well, you know, we took this path, so follow this path and stick with it. It was really whatever I wanted to be when I grew up, and definitely changed 2 or 3 times, and it's definitely different now. I'm currently a human resource management major at IUP. So it's definitely a lot different from when I was growing up, but it's good.
And very different, because as I was growing up, the one thing I never thought about being was in the military. But you actually thought you wanted to be in the military.
Yes, my dad would always joke around and say, hey, you know, join the military, you know, it'll help you pay for college. And I mean, we all know college is very, very expensive. And so, you know, it was always kind of thrown around, and I honestly I'd played around with the idea. And it wasn't until I got to college when I was really interested in joining. I went through a health and wellness class, and it was a military version of it. It's just a different take on health and wellness, and absolutely fell in love with it. So
wow, did you do? I mean, are you doing things with that today, or?
Yes, I am currently a cadet in the ROTC program, which is Reserve Officer Training Corps at IUP, and I will be a senior next year. So I will be helping lead my battalion and teach new cadets and new students exactly what it's going to be like, or hopefully mold them into future officers.
Okay, now listen. Would you like to have her as your sergeant at arms, or what do you call it, sergeant general or whatever?
Well, when I graduate, I will be a second lieutenant. I'm going down the officer side, so hopefully I'll start as a second lieutenant, and hopefully not too long after I'll go to first lieutenant and captain and move on up.
That's amazing. So you're not talking about the combat battle or anything like that. You're on the other side.
Well,
basically.
It depends what job I receive once I get my commission at the end of May. Every cadet competes for what job they will have. Like I said, I'm a human resource management major, and so I do have the opportunity to do human resources in the military as well. But now they've opened combat arms to females. I have a few more options now that I have been considering.
Wow.
But we'll see. I still have until September 6th to make a final decision with what I would like to do with the military, but they have the ultimate decision at the end of the day.
Okay, but it sounds like you are planning a career in the military of some sort.
I'm hoping for one, yes.
You're hoping for a career.
Yes.
Well, I think that's great. I think you'll do wonderful. You know, I don't know how they'll handle such a fantastically shaped, gorgeous young woman in the military, but I think that's a really good. It's a really kind of a good segue for other young women out there who see you and say, you know, I could do that, because I know a lot of times men, young men, and maybe other girls would look at you and say, oh, she can't do it. Look at her. She's just all fluff and so forth. But you're showing everyone that it's not fluff. The fact that you are a beauty queen doesn't mean that you can't get out there and actually achieve whatever goal you want to achieve.
And I've definitely had my fair share of people having doubts and different opinions, but it's fun to prove to them that I can do it, and that I will strive and push forward and do my best to be able to accomplish whatever I need to.
And you know, I see a lot of women going in your sort of direction, not necessarily with the military, but you know, my husband and I watch American Ninja Warrior. Can't wait to get home to see American Ninja Warrior. And I see these women, and I see these guys going through all of these obstacle courses, and then these women come behind them and they do exactly what they do, or they do it better because they get a little further.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing to me. They don't look like they're heavy weightlifters or anything. They're attractive, they're shapely, they're built, they speak well, they're intelligent, and so forth. So it's very encouraging when we see women taking their position and not allowing anybody to say, you can't do it because you're a woman or because you're gorgeous, or you can't have a brain because you're too pretty. You know, it's kind of crazy. So now that you have reached the pinnacle of Miss Pittsburgh, what's been the most influential thing that helped you reach that pinnacle?
Oh, there were many things. Honestly, it was my family who really helped push me towards this title. They have been so supportive through everything. I've tried many things. I've been successful, and I've also failed at things. And I've learned so much from all of those experiences, especially the failures too. There are so many things. It's not, to me, it's not so much that I did fail, but it's what I learned from it. I feel like I learned more from failures than I do from the successes. You know, sometimes I've gotten so many things out of it, and at any rate, it's brought me to this point. And I've had the opportunity to win, and my family has been absolutely so supportive. They've helped me with, you know, if I needed the financial support, or if I needed just somebody to talk to because I was stressed out about the preparation and everything it takes to get here. And they were my backbone, and they're always there for me. And so I think they were the most influential, helping me get to this point.
Okay. You know, and it's very interesting that you would say you've learned more from your failures. So how do you take a failure and turn it into a positive?
I personally do believe in lifelong learning.
Okay.
I think you can always learn no matter what age, what stage of life you're in. You're always learning. You always have that opportunity. And I like to take advantage of that. And even if I fail, there's so many things that I can take from it. You know, sometimes I can look at it, or my family, my dad would always tell me, he's like, well, you know, I saw you do this, you did really well, but I've seen you do better, or you could have worked harder, or, you know, I might just have not put the hours into whatever area I did not do well in. I just didn't put in the hours for it, but I knew it, and something slipped up, or I lost focus. And so I've been able to look back on what I've done to get, especially even to Miss Pittsburgh. There's so many things I was like, you know what, next time I'm going to do that better. And I still won this title, which I'm absolutely in love with right now. But there's so many things that even that I'm like, you know what, next time I'm going to work a little harder in this area or that area. And so I definitely think you can always learn, you can always improve, you can always better yourself. And so I definitely do think I've learned more from my failures, I think, than anything else.
Well, you know, that's a good position. That's a really good attitude, you know, to have, because if you have something that you've done and you failed at it, I don't want to say failed, because I don't think any of us are really failures. We may not have reached a level that we wanted to reach, but it just means that you have a choice. You can either do it better, figure out what it is that you did that you need to improve on, or you can sit there and sulk about it.
Yeah.
You know,
gotta keep moving forward, Michelle.
Gotta keep moving
forward.
Okay, so that's good. And again, it's all about, it's what how I've always defined pageantry, as the ability to learn and to keep growing in every aspect. Like, you are beautifully dressed, but it doesn't mean that you can't be a better dresser.
Very true.
Okay.
Very true.
It doesn't mean, it means that your interview skills, like you're doing a great job here with this interview, but it doesn't mean that you can't have a better interview. You know, I once was coaching a young woman who was trying to become Miss Pennsylvania and move on to Atlantic City, when it was in Atlantic City, or still may be there, I don't know, to do Miss America. And she said to me, she said, you know, they keep telling me that my interview is really good. There's nothing wrong with my interview. She said, but I can't get to the top 10. I can't make top 10, so there's got to be something. So I said, okay, well, let's start with interview. And so I engaged the services of a good friend who was a newspaper reporter, and I had him drill her in questions, and I sat back and watched. And in her first interview, and you'll love this because I think I said the same thing to you in your interview, she used the word like 50 times.
That was me, 100%.
She didn't even realize
Nope.
that's what she was doing. And I said, that's probably one of the things that keeps your interview from reaching a 10. So now you're aware, now you're conscientious about that. Here's how you get rid of it. So let's go through this again. And we went right back into a second round of interview, and she went from saying 50 times to saying it like 15, which still was too many,
but it's much better than
it was much better. the next year she went back and she actually made top 10. She made top 5
Really?
at
Wow.
Miss Pennsylvania. She didn't win the crown, but she improved. So there's always room for improvement. So we're going to take a brief break. This is the Miss Pittsburgh TV showcase that you're watching. I'm Michelle J. Gaines. Please join us, come back. We've got a lot more to talk about with Natalie. Hi, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the Miss Pittsburgh TV showcase, and we're here today introducing our brand new 2016 winner, Natalie DeMarino, who will be the talk show host for this program. So Natalie, fun question. If you could take a selfie with anybody you wanted in the Berg, who would it be?
That's a tough one. There are so many people in this city that I think would be awesome to take a selfie with, but I think I would honestly, if I could, I would have to say probably Jerome Bettis. I know he has the Jerome Bettis sports bar downtown, not too far from here, and I just remember growing up as a kid, he was my dad's favorite player.
Okay.
And so I loved watching him, and so if anybody, I would definitely want to take a selfie with Jerome Bettis.
Okay. Well, I can't think of another better person either myself. So, Jerome, if you're watching, come take a selfie with Miss Pittsburgh. Okay. So now let's talk pageant. You applied, you prepared, you competed, and you won. What were the ups of the competition for you?
The ups of the competition, there were so many cool things I got to do. I got to work with so many cool people along the way. As contestants, we got to do trunk shows where we had the opportunity to work with people, and they helped us get ready for the competition. Beth at Ross Park Macy's was absolutely phenomenal. She would call me, she would help me out, she got me dresses and attire, and
that's always the fun part.
It was so much fun. I mean, she really pulled through for me. That was an awesome experience to be able to do that and have someone help you and put you in things you never thought you would really enjoy or you would look good on you, and that was a fantastic experience. And being able to do the anchor desk portion of the competition, I thought was fantastic. Because it really pushed me outside of my comfort zone. I've never had to personally interview someone as experienced as Kimberly Easton, who is a WPXI anchor. It was very intimidating, but she's phenomenal, and I got to, like I said, I got to really push myself, which was a really cool experience. I didn't expect to grow that much. You know, I was expecting, the normal like evening gown and fashion flair, and that's where I feel comfortable. But I really had to work on that aspect, and that was a cool experience.
Well, it obviously worked because we put that into competition. Since the winner has to host this show, then we wanted to make sure that that person was going to be able to host the show. So what better way to do that would be to get an angle on, can she conduct an interview with the judge? Now you picked Kimberly.
I did.
I didn't pick. We didn't pick Kimberly for her.
Picked Kimberly.
She secretly
found out later.
Kimberly, and probably didn't sleep for 3 nights afterwards. Like, oh my goodness, because she's an award-winning journalist.
She really is. She's fantastic.
And we were thrilled that she came in. She drove all the way here from Indianapolis to be with us that day, and I was just really, really happy that that took place. So you had great ups. The trunk show at Macy's was really good. Beth, as you said, she was really great. I was at the point, and she made me feel like I wanted to compete. Like, go get some of those dresses so that I can try them on. So she's really, really good about that. Veronica Burgess at Bobby Brown did a great job with your makeup. It was just awesome.
Yeah,
she did a really good job.
Definitely. It was a cool experience. I love people doing my makeup. It's very funny. You just get to sit back and relax, and then it turns out beautiful in the end. And she did a fantastic job.
Yeah, she did a great job. Okay, so now, were there any downs?
I think if anything, I would have liked, and I know you all said I did well on the interview with Kimberly, but I was so stressed out. I was so nervous. I wish I would have put a little more practice in saying the questions out loud. I put a lot of time into writing down my questions and thinking of what I wanted to ask her, but then actually standing up and saying them out loud and kind of having somebody kind of just give me answers back, just random answers, see what, you know, timing wise, and sometimes I speak a little too quickly. So I think if anything, I would have gone back and practice out loud a little bit more, just to make myself feel more comfortable when I got to that point of the competition.
Okay, all right. So, would you do it again?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I really do enjoy being on stage. I like meeting new people and talking to people and sharing my life with them and learning about them as well. And so, the more people I get to meet, the better. And so, I would do it again for sure.
Okay, all right. Well, you're going to be host of this show. So what is it that you are looking to do? What can the audience expect of Natalie DeMarino?
Well, I'm hoping to bring on some guests who are from the city. This city has so many amazing people in it who have done so many incredible things and are role models for me and soon to be role models for me, and just phenomenal people that I do look up to, and I'm hoping to bring them on the show so they get a little more exposure and maybe other people will start looking up to them as well, because they are some cool guests lined up, some phenomenal people.
Okay, all right. Anybody special? You want to drop some hints?
We have a couple other queens who will be joining me. We have some producers of events throughout the city who will be joining me, and hopefully we'll have some more famous people joining us, but you'll have to stay tuned to see who's coming.
She's keeping you guessing. Okay, all right, so that's great. Well, I want to share with the audience Natalie's spread here. Let's see if I can find it. This is it this way?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, she knew exactly where it was.
I looked through earlier.
So let's look at that. Look at that. Now this is her, that's in your evening gown. That's the evening gown shot there. There's the anchor, I believe.
Yep.
That's the anchor desk there. And that's Natalie being crowned by our very first Miss Pittsburgh Queen, Jessica Basulto. Jessica always comes, she always answers the call, and that's what happens in this industry, is when you are linked with someone so wonderful as Jessica and Natalie. We stay connected, you know, it's a lifetime. So it could be 10 years or 15 years from now that I won't see her, but if I pick up the phone and say, hey Natalie, it's Michelle, she's gonna say, hey, what's up?
Definitely.
Definitely. You know, so this is a beautiful spread. This is in this issue of Pittsburgh Avenue West, okay, and it is available here at PCTV. You can stop in and get a copy, or you can check the website and find out where else to get a copy. They're all over the city and out throughout different parts of Allegheny County. So pick one up and read all about Natalie and her interview in the magazine and so forth. So I know that you just got back from Las Vegas.
I did, yes.
Okay, how was that?
It was a lot of fun. I was able to go with my family. It was more of like a girls' trip, and with a couple of my aunts and my Nana and my twin sister. It's been a dream of hers for a couple of years to go for our 21st birthday. And so we got to go as a family and spend time together. Half my family actually is in Portland, Oregon. So a little far. I don't get to see them all the time. So every once in a while I get to see them. So it was a great trip. It was a lot of fun. It was nice to relax. So it was good. I just got home yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And the jet lag is kind of getting me, but you know, I'm still hanging in there.
Well, how long were you there?
For 5 days.
5 days.
Yep.
That's a long time in Vegas. Did you get to the Strip? Did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
We stayed at the Monte Carlo.
Nice.
So it was a really nice hotel. It was in a fantastic location. We were able to walk everywhere we wanted to go, obviously except from the airport. That would have been a little far. But we were able to walk everywhere. We got to do a ton of things. There was a lot of relaxing, which was fantastic. So I really did enjoy it. It was a great trip.
Well, that's good. Any more trips coming up in the near future?
As of right now, I'm trying to planned some trips to go see some friends. I spent a little bit of time in Fort Knox this summer, and I met some fantastic people from all over the country. And so I'm hoping to visit them at the end of August, but that plan is still in the making.
Okay, all right. All right, well, I know that you've got, we've got a schedule of shows that will hopefully start airing very shortly. And then Natalie, of course, will be in the studio taping shows, but there's always the possibility that you'll look up and you'll see her at one of your events, because, you know, we may do some roaming throughout the city and throughout the county just to sneak up on you and see what's going on and who we can put a microphone in front of and say, hey, tell us all about you and what you're doing and so forth. That's always a lot of fun. I've not done a lot of that, but I think we could pull it off. We could pull it off. We could do that. So, TV talk show host. What does that? I know that's brand new, and I know that you're going to do a fantastic job. Tell me what your greatest fear is, though.
Oh, my greatest fear, I think, maybe just, that's a tough one, Michelle. You're stumping me here. Stumping me. I mean, in high school, I had a public speaking class, and we had the opportunity to speak on television. Television, it was a local, it was just in our high school for the morning news, and so that was a good experience. It got me a little exposure, but this is totally new to me. Okay. And so I think that's just it's a little nerve-wracking. So.
But you're going to do great at it. So then that might be your greatest fear, but what is the greatest feeling of accomplishment from being a talk show host?
I think the fact that I can say, you know, I am Miss Pittsburgh, it's fantastic to say I'm Miss Pittsburgh and I have a TV show where I get to showcase fantastic people from my city that I love with all my heart, to get to showcase them and the great things that they've been doing. I think is going to be the coolest accomplishment throughout my next 2 years, because I get to work with people, meet people, perfect my TV host skills. And I mean,
I think you'll do great.
I'm excited. This will be fun.
Yeah, this will be great. So, anything that we need to, what else do we need to know about Natalie?
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to, maybe we'll see some more stuff in the shows. We'll get to talk a little bit here in the future, and maybe you guys will see me around Pittsburgh somewhere soon, and I'll get to meet some people, and I'll get to tell them all about myself in person.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? It's been a pleasure, and I am really looking forward to a nice long journey, not just over the next 2 years, but I think that when your 2-year reign is up, it's going to be really hard to let you go. So we're probably going to try to figure out how to really keep you around, unless the military sends you off somewhere.
I always can take a plane.
Okay.
Always take a plane.
Take a plane and come back and visit and so forth. So again, you know, this has been, pageantry it's not just something that you do and have your crown sit on a shelf and collect dust, as you can see. You know, this is a vibrant young woman who has competed in a vibrant type of industry, learning how to dress and groom and learning the do's and don'ts of how to interview, how not to interview, how to handle yourself with the media. These are all life learning skills. So if there's any of you out there that are interested in coming on, because we want to talk to title holders, and there's a spot on our website, misspghshowcase.com. PGH Showcase, misspghshowcase.com. Go on to the website, fill out the contact form. We'll be in touch with you. We'd love to have you on the show. So for now, we're just going to sign off. Say thanks again for watching. This is the Miss Pittsburgh TV Showcase. We'll see you soon.